And when the weather drops below 7 degrees Celsius, it's time for winter driving and winter tires. Here to keep us safe on the roads is Mike Matisic from Hankook Tire Canada. Welcome to Daytime.
Thank you for having me.
So I only realized this last night after reading the notes for today is that it's when it hits 7 degrees Celsius or lower, we need winter tires.
Exactly. What happens is the rubber composition on a regular all-season tire will start to get harder, while on a winter tire, they're made with different substances that will allow it to still stay pliable and soft and grip the road. I like to compare an all-season tire in the colder weather when it gets down below 7 degrees, whether there's ice or not, the pavement's cold. It's almost like a hockey puck on ice. You take that pass, it just keeps going.
And that's all-season tires you're talking about?
Exactly.
How do you know when you need to replace your winter tires? Because each year we put our old winter tires back on the car. We might need to get new winter tires. Is there a marking?
On a general rule of thumb, every tire has a DOT little line that goes across in between the treads, and that's a tread depth indicator. Once it gets to there, any tire is not safe for the road. But winter tires will come with a winter wear indicator as well, and as soon as it gets down to that depth, which is usually anywhere between 5 and 630 seconds, it starts losing its usefulness in the winter. So the winter tire is best from that point up, and then after that you could actually leave it on and use it as an all-season until the wear-out point.
And you're here with some important winter driving safety tips. And one tip is you say increase the following distance as per the road conditions. And what do you mean by that?
Well, normally we've always been taught when you get behind the wheel of a car, you want to keep at least 2 car lengths, 2 chevrons. You know, there's been different variations, but with winter conditions, you want to increase that by at least 4 times, and depending on the road conditions. If you notice it's really slippery and there's a lot of ice and a lot of slush and snow, just make it to a safe point. You don't want to, there's no general exact science to it, just keep it safe. Increase that distance. So when you try and hit the brake to stop the vehicle, if you do start sliding, there'll be a cushion where you're not going to be kissing your neighbor in front of you.
I like that. It makes a lot of sense. As much as you like your neighbor, you don't want to kiss the back of their car.
Exactly.
Try not to make unnecessary lane changes. It makes a lot of sense, but tell us about that.
Well, when you're driving on the highway or even in the city, you'll notice you've always got somebody that's changing lanes, weaving in and out of traffic. When you start going on the roads and there's a lot of snow and slush covering, you'll get little collections of snow in between the lanes. So every time you try and cross over one of those, it gives you an uneasy, unsafe point of traction. So if you can plan your route and say, this is the exit I'm going to take, this is where I'm going to go, try and keep it in one lane as much as possible.
You know, I'm really glad you said that, because I do recall from last winter when I would try to pass the different lane, and I think, well, other people are doing that, so it must be safe, but I'd always feel this little bit of a pull, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because you're losing contact with the actual pavement that everybody else has cleared out in those 2 ruts that you're driving in.
Yes.
You're actually touching road surface. But when you go over that hump, you're at the mercy of the snow and ice that you're driving over.
And that's when hydroplaning can happen, maybe.
Hydroplaning, loss of traction, various things.
Good advice. Number 3 is avoid hard acceleration and hard braking on turns.
Yeah, if you're going into a corner and your tire has greatest contact patch when it's going straight, as soon as you start to turn it, you're losing some of that contact patch. So a little bit more brake application or acceleration will break traction, and you'll start to slide, and you'll actually start going straight as opposed to turning. So if you're needing to turn, you let off that brake and you let your tire catch and make your corner, as opposed to holding on the brake, because then you're just going to go straight in the direction you're pointed as opposed to following the corner.
That is very good advice. Number 4 is change all 4 tires to winter tires, even on 4-wheel drive vehicles.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people with the 4-wheel drive vehicles think, I've got 4-wheel drive,
Right.
all four tires are going to be driving, I can make it through anything. But acceleration and motion is one thing, but stopping is another. Doesn't matter if you have 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, when you hit the brakes, your tires are going to slip. If you have the hard, slippery hockey puck all-season tires, you're going to be into that sliding situation. The winter tire will give you the traction for braking, steering, and acceleration, not just acceleration.
And the last tip you have is to make sure that we check our tire pressures regularly.
Very important. A lot of vehicles these days come with tire pressure monitoring systems, so you have the luxury. But if you don't have that, even if you have that, have a look at your tires, because tire inflation will change traction on a tire and general safety of the tire.
How do you check your tire pressure? I know that sounds like a silly question,
Well,
but
I have a tire pressure gauge. There are different ones you can get from all sorts of different stores.
oh, a tire pressure gauge
Yeah,
is the thing you need.
yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and keeping us safe, Mike.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Up next, we have Francesca Scattini. Stay right there. Oh, that's really good advice because it sounds kind of